The trucks line the grandstands, and the fans, well, they are an enthusiastic group indeed. And here's what they've come to see. NASCAR racing, Winston Cup, Busch Grand National. Big crowds, big money, big stars, big success. But this is bigger than big. It's super. NASCAR SuperTrucks, battleground of champions. En route to SuperTrucks, they've walked many paths. Sports cars, wing sprints, off-road, Northwest, Southwest, Winston West, ARCA, Corvettes, Indy cars, ASA, Champ dirt cars, even motocross. When in SuperTrucks, you're more than a champion, you're Superman. Hey, we're live in the Arizona desert where all those prospective supermen have gathered for the Racing Champions 200, Tucson Raceway Park outside Tucson, Arizona. 86 degrees, but it's a dry heat, right? Light winds, humidity about 12%, zip chance of rain. It is, in short, a perfect spring afternoon here in the desert. A great day for motorsports. Great evening if you're joining us back east where we come to you in prime time. Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Despain, here to bring you a long-awaited moment on ESPN and Speed World. It's our first opportunity, the first of 6 this year, to cover the new NASCAR Craftsman SuperTruck Series. You've heard so much about it. Think about silhouette race cars, a full-on race chassis with the silhouette body that mimics the production automobile. Well, today we bring you silhouette trucks, a racing chassis with the body of a Ford F-150, a 1500 series Chevy, or a Dodge Ram. Some of the most popular, best-selling automobiles and vehicles in America. And here's what they look like in racing trim out there on the starting grid. Ready to go, 30 strong for 200 laps. It is going to be a wild day on the bull ring, and I think you're going to enjoy it. We have somebody new in the broadcast booth joining us for this race. Prior to today, the most exciting moment in Elton Sawyer's career had to be this Busch Grand National victory. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina last year. Crew goes crazy, big smile on Elton's face. But how could that compare, ladies and gentlemen, with the opportunity today to join our ESPN broadcast team, become one of the guys with the ties, and try to fill the big shoes of the likes of, say, Benny Parsons, for example?
Well, Dave, I don't know if I can fill his shoes, but I sure don't want to fill his jacket.
Hey, got you, Parsons. Let's talk about this series. I'm impressed with the quality of the field that we've gathered here.
Oh, it's great. There's 32 championships among 32 trucks. We've got motorcycle champions. We have off-road champions, all types of stock car championships, as well as off-road.
And what conclusion do we draw from that as we look at all those guys from all those diverse fields? What does that tell us about the quality of this series?
Well, basically, if you take NASCAR, Richard Childress, Dale Earnhardt, Rick Hendricks, you put them all in a hat, these guys are going to come race. I mean, it's going to be a great show. I'm excited.
A lot of people think that it is the most exciting motorsports success story of the 90s. We'll get an indication today whether or not that will be true as we follow the action. Our coverage continues as we go to the head of the grid, and the third member of our broadcast team, Marty Reed, is with the pole sitter.
Well, thanks, David. The man sitting behind the cockpit of the number 3 Chevy truck has won 3 of those 32 championships that Elton was talking about. And inside, Mike Skinner, you toured this at just over 15 seconds. That's flying. But unlike the Winter Heat Series when there was about 20 trucks, there's 30 out here. Traffic's going to play a key factor.
Oh, yeah, traffic's going to be a big deal today. I don't think it'll be, you know, a matter of 15 or 20 laps. We'll be in lap traffic, and a lot of those guys are going to be trying real hard to stay on the lead lap, and I don't blame them. It's just the spotter may be very important for us today. The spotter has to be on his toes today, and we hope we can bring this GM Goodwrench Chevrolet racing truck home in first place for him.
Well, guys, I got to tell you one thing. Somebody said if you pass here at Tucson, you can't be polite about it.
I think that's a paraphrase, Marty, as I understand it. Hey, that light breeze is about to blow us off the roof. We're going to head into the booth and get ready to call the action because the green flag is coming up here on ESPN. Stand by. ESPN Speed World coverage of the NASCAR SuperTruck Series brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, and by Goodyear, #1 in tires. What a pretty day and what a pretty sight from one of our 2 onboard cameras. You're riding with the pole sitter Mike Skinner as we take a quick look at the trucks that are going to race here today. Yeah, a Winston Cup car, familiar black number 3, but there's the transition. And that brings up the question, Elton, how the two compare, the car versus the truck.
Well, basically, Dave, you have to have templates to fit these trucks, just like we do the stock cars. The weight is identically the same as a Winston Cup car. We have a 112-inch wheelbase on the trucks, which is 2 inches longer than a Winston Cup car. The engine is the big key. 9.5 to 1 compression V8 engines.
Here is your pole sitter as we move forward to prepare for the start. Mike Skinner, the winner of the season opener, starts his Chevrolet from the pole. He is your point leader, and alongside Joe Ruttman, a $1 million winner in stock car racing in Ernie Irvin's truck. Jack Sprague, short track veteran with sponsorship from St. John's Catholic Church. And then Steve Portengay, he is the Southwest Tour champion. Scott Lagacy, the road racer, and Ron Hornaday. P.J. Jones inside row 4 with Bill Sedgwick on the outside. Mike Bliss, the Silver Crown champion. Sammy Swindell, twice World of Outlaws champion, starting on the outside. Field coming down for a green flag as we get set to turn them loose. And you ride along in the second of our in-car cameras that's going to be riding along today with Hornaday. Let's see who's going to get the jump. I got to think on a tough racetrack to pass, that's going to be exciting. A guy named Carr drops the flag on the trucks, and we're underway.
They're 3 wide in turn 1 there, Dave. I can't believe that early in the race. These guys are going after it already.
A lot of speculation about the ability to pass here.
Skinner's on the bottom.
Goes in side by side. Ruttman wants a piece of the outside, and they are hub to hub as they complete the first lap. Absolute dead even. Terrific competition is what we expected. There's the 75 truck of Bill Sedgwick as you're looking out the back of Hornaday's truck. Scott Lagacy, the road racer, got that Jeff Gordon paint job there on the Chevrolet.
Sure does. That's the 84 truck there of Joe Ruttman, owned by Ernie Irvin. I wonder if Ernie's watching this deal.
I say they're close. When you say they're close, I'm pretty close to close race.
Maybe him and Childress and Earnhardt and those guys are having dinner together.
Yeah, that's looking on for the pole sitter Skinner's truck as he pulls maybe a fender ring.
They're still side by side. Skinner down at the bottom. He really don't want to stay there long, though, Dave. He's going to get those tires heated up, and Joe's going to get on around him.
Certainly resolves the question of whether this will be a 1-lane or a 2-lane racetrack. I'd say it's 2 for now, but you bring up a good point. They're going to run 101 laps here. They hope green all the way, obviously. Then stop. It's an unusual race format here, but the pits
they touched a little bit there.
Yeah, they did. You bet. Look at that. What a shot.
Well, that's a great shot. Great shot.
Doesn't get any closer than this. NASCAR truck racing, side by side. The black 3 is Skinner, and on the outside, Joe Ruttman up from California. And again, they touch off turn 4.
They touch again. Those guys are going after it. You'd think they were dropping the white flag was out or something. These guys are really going after it.
This is terrific. Looks like Portengay is also involved in a pretty good battle for second and third. He's got P.J. Jones to deal with. And we've got problems here for number 29. That is Keselowski, the ARCA veteran, and he is headed off the racetrack. He has been black flagged. There's an oil leak on that truck. He qualified badly and had to take a provisional, so I guess it's not a big surprise. It is a big disappointment.
Oh, I'm sure it is, Dave. You know, early in the race to have a problem like that, I'm sure those guys will work hard to try to get it fixed, get back out there for some of those very valuable points.
Did you call this or what? He stayed on the bottom long enough that Ruttman got away from him.
That's a good point. I don't know, maybe if the spotter or even the crew chief may have told Mike, look, let's save those tires and wait a little later. We'll get back by him.
That'll give us a chance to set further back in the field. Number 1 is P.J. Jones, and he, of course, is driving the Chevrolet here, running in 3rd spot, and that's a switch. He was a Ford racer during the Winter Heat Series that ran 3 events on this racetrack during the winter. He has now switched to Chevrolet, and then comes Steve Portengay. He is the Featherlight Southwest.
PJ's catching that first group there. They were racing side by side, and they let that group catch up with them. I think Mike needs to get in line right now and just get some laps behind him.
PJ's going to get a shot at him there. There is Portengay, and he's followed by Hornaday, who has moved up from 6th starting spot to 5th, so he's picked up 1 position. Driving Dale Earnhardt's truck. Actually, Teresa Earnhardt's truck. We constantly refer to as Dale's truck.
That's Dale's boss.
Actually, Dale's boss's truck. Exactly. Been a terrific scrap from the get-go. They're already going to be lapping. Slower traffic. First to fall will be Mike Hurlburt. He's the motocrosser out of the state of Washington.
Mike Skinner brought up a good point early in the race when Marty was interviewing about traffic. You know, they're getting around here at about 16 seconds now, and There was almost a second in the starting grid there. So.
Well, the different lines very much in evidence, and I think that's going to make for good racing for the entire 200 laps. If that holds up, one of the things we noticed in winter heat was that oftentimes the groove would seem to move higher and higher on what is a multi-bank racetrack that runs, I believe, 6, 9, and 12. It's a what is it, concave or convex? I could never figure that out. I think it's concave.
You're asking me? You might need Parsons for that one.
It's not very steep, in other words, but the groove will move up during the day?
I think it will. What the problem you have here is the closer you run to the bottom of the racetrack, yeah, it's the shortest way around, but you put a lot of heat in those outside tires. You see Mike do that early. He's kind of laid back now, cooled them off. He's going back at Ruttman now.
So Ruttman leads it, and Ernie Irvin's home going, come on, Joe, go get him. Actually, of course, Ernie's not home. He's at North Wilkes, where you'll be tomorrow on ESPN with our live coverage of the Winston Cup action. This is a Racers Weekend here on the network. We've got it all for you. We'll tell you about that toward the end of the show to remind you where you want to be the rest of the weekend. But it is Ruttman out front. What a nice guy he is. Joe's dream in life, he told me at Phoenix, was to win a Winston Cup race. He's been close a couple of times, still waiting for that big plum. But today, he has the opportunity perhaps to win his first NASCAR race. Let's go down trackside and check in with Marty Reed. Marty, what's up?
Well, one of the 3 Dodges in the competition, Bob Keselowski, is in the pits. And, Bob, you got an oil line problem?
Yes, we had to change motors after practice just before the race. And apparently a line is not sealing up real good into the engine block, the main oil line going in, and it's leaking. I'm not sure what they can do with it right now.
That's it, but he'll get back out. You can guarantee that.
Pick your spot in traffic and take the lead. Not a bad move there, eh?
No, it wasn't. I talked to Mike Skinner earlier today, and we were talking about passing. I won't really get into how he described he would have to pass there, but he basically made the same type move.
Yeah, and that time the traffic was critical. They just overlapped Jerry Churchill to put him a lap down. No surprise, 30 trucks on a 3/8-mile track. You're going to be running in traffic all day long. We are off and running here in Tucson. We'll be back with more right after this. Back live at Tucson. Here is the reason we are under a yellow flag. Sammy Swindell and the channel lock truck had a little bit of a problem. Now, he has something in common with my expert analyst, Elton Sawyer. They have a common car owner. Now, you haven't been giving Sammy driving lessons in the truck.
Nah.
You're not responsible.
I'm not real sure
this.
what happened there. We kind of catch it. There's a lot of smoke there. Yeah, Sammy and I share the same car owner. We get the same check signed by the same people, so I'm sure Bob's not real happy right now.
He spun her out, he kept on trucking, and is back in line for the restart that will come in a lap. Skinner had taken the lead just before the spin and the yellow. He did it in traffic with a masterful move around Joe Ruttman. T.J. Jones has moved from 7th to 3rd. Hornaday from 6th up to 4th. And you're riding with Ron Hornaday, the 2-time Southwest Tour champion right now, as we prepare for the restart.
Sorry, Dave. Basically, you see these guys, they're swerving back and forth. What they're doing is not so much putting heat in the tire, they're trying to clean them off. We're ready to go green.
And the green flag falls, and we're back underway with 24 trucks on the lead lap, led by Skinner in that black number 3. The familiar colors of the Childress Racing Organization. And boy, he jumped on him there,
He got
didn't
a great start. He's getting away a little bit.
It's a hoo-ha behind him, though. McEachern got up almost into the side of PJ, and now
a whole lot of room there.
Today. I don't think he wants to get lapped.
I don't think so.
Blues guitar player and race car driver McEachern gives him a little bit of a battle. And now we're beginning to see some evidence of one of the Tucson problems, that bright sun.
This is a great shot here, Dave. You can see the driver. He's really getting after it now. Got his hands on the steering wheel. He's down in the corner. Straightening out, coming back off. Oh, got a little loose there. You see him turn back to the right, trying to catch it.
You're turning all the time to this place. There's not much time to rest. This is the bull ring. This is the definition of the bull ring. Here you can see his hands.
Exactly. We need to get some gloves on Ron Horn, man.
Nah, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. But the issue I was alluding to is the glare as they come around 3 and into 4. You got a glimpse of it there. That sun is setting in the west. And the guys that have been here before are all running a lot of tape on the top of the windshield. The guys who haven't been here much are not doing that. I think that'll come back and bite them.
That's a good point. And for the fans back home, if you go to Darlington or Rockingham, you'll see that same glare late in the afternoon. The guys that run here often, they have the tape on the windshield. That's going to be an advantage for them.
Short track racing at its finest. Mike Skinner is the leader, and since this restart, he's kind of established a 5 or 6 truck length lead and seems to be comfortable to sit on it. And I got to wonder what Ruttman's thinking right now, because he was able to race him hard before the restart. Here's Jones, as we said, moving forward through the field from 7th to 1st, and we've got a spinner. It is truck number 50.
That's Kerry Teague.
Kerry Teague, the veteran from Concord, North Carolina, spun her around, shoved her back in gear, kept on trucking.
That's all you can do when something like that happens. You just get after it and try to get back caught up.
It will pull a caution. I thought for a moment they were going to let him go under green, but they will pull a caution for the second time this afternoon for Kerry Teague. A disappointment for him that will send him to perhaps the tail end of the field and us back right after this timeout.
We're back at Tucson Raceway Park, and I'm standing actually outside the track. In fact, we have a lousy view of the race. In fact, anybody back in the pits over to my left also has a lousy view. But if you look way over there, that's the area that they've set aside for all the crew chiefs and the spotters. You remember Mike Skinner talked about how the spotter would play a key role? Well, that's where they're doing all their work from. That's the only place they can really see the race.
You have company back there in the pits, Marty, because during this yellow, right at the tail end of the yellow, Butch Gilliland, who is in fact the track record holder here, went to the pits. He qualified badly, 15th in the starting grid, but he apparently has a problem and has taken the Ultra Wheels truck off the racetrack. So we'll come back for the restart here, and Skinner will be back out front trying to hold on to what he was able to get. Are they going to go this time? I think they're going to go one more round, and that'll give me the opportunity to complete my introduction of the guy named Carr, who ironically started the truck race. It was Kevin Carr, the Sears store manager from Farmington, New Mexico, won a customer support competition to get the honor to drop the flag. And I'm going back to make a big deal out of this because Kevin is a big fan of Saturday Night Fun, and therefore deserves to get a proper mention on our television program. We are just about a quarter lap away from the restart. What do you think? Skinner going to jump him again like he did the last time?
Looks like he has. I don't know what the gearing they have in their transmission, but it's awful good. There's a lot of smoke come out of Skinner's truck.
You bet. We'll keep a close eye on that. Oh, he's in trouble. Well, that was tire smoke, isn't it?
Nah, it's coming out the pipe.
No, it couldn't be. He's slowing down. Yeah, there we go. Couldn't imagine that he was slipping and sliding around like that. That'll give us a new leader, and I wonder if he's going to get through the traffic without problems. The truck has slowed dramatically, but he's keeping his hoof in it as best he can.
That's definitely coming out the pipes. You can see it right there. It's hard to say. Maybe they cracked the piston or something. I'm sure those guys will work awfully hard to try to figure out what it is. They need to get him back out for those points.
The guys behind him are going to work awfully hard to not be behind him very long. That was number 83, Fortingay, trying to get around. He's going to the pits. A lot of smoke, and back in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, Richard Childress slaps his forehead and says, how can this be? Meanwhile, Ernie Irvin says, terrific. Bye, guys. Leave. There is Skinner's truck, the Goodwrench black number 3. Such familiar colors in NASCAR racing. In trouble here today. Marty's there. Marty?
Well, we're going to stick our microphone in here, see if we can get a word with Mike. What happened out there, Mike? What's wrong?
I missed a shift on the restart, blew the motor up.
Well, that's about as succinct as you can put it. So Mike Skinner, unfortunately, has taken himself out.
A man taking responsibility for his own actions. You cannot knock that. Skinner says, hey, I missed a shift. Nothing else to say. Number 21 in trouble is Toby Butler. The Ortho Lawn and Garden Care Products Ford has slapped the wall. Gets her refired, but he's got big damage on the left front.
He sure has. Them guys are going to have to really work hard to get the... Looks like the left rear quarter there is all up against the tire, and the left front's kind of beat in a little bit. He's moving, though.
He's going to do his best to get her rolling. He's going to get a great paint job on that truck, and we're going to get a quick look at how it happened here. Let's see.
It's hard to tell if he had any help there. You know, going off on these turns here, the trucks get awful loose, and if you just get a little tap and get a little help, you know, things are going to turn around on you.
Toby Butler had an eye-opening experience at Phoenix, the opening race of this series. He finished 25th there. He drives for Jim Venable. Jim Venable is one of the guys who helped create this series. He's a legend in off-road racing. He's made a fortune flying airplanes, tanker planes that put out fires, basically, forest fires. He makes a lot of money here in California, obviously. Well, they went to Phoenix thinking, yeah, this is going to be a pretty big deal. Venable was involved in creating the series, designed the first SuperTruck, But when it came to putting a team together, it was kind of an afterthought effort because he's basically into off-road racing. They built the truck at the off-road shop, showed up in Phoenix and said, hey, this thing is serious. And they've hired about 20 people and they're building all new trucks. Now, you pointed out during the break that there's some damage on this number 16. That's Hornaday. Looks like he's dinged the front a little bit.
Exactly. Not sure exactly what happened there, but there is some damage on the right front. It doesn't look to be a big problem, but I'm sure at halfway those guys will attend to that.
Having just seen Bristol last weekend in the Winston Cup cars, here's Skinner out of the competition. Having just seen Bristol and anticipating North Wilkes and comparing it with what we have here, I mean, bent fenders on the bull rings, that's just part of the deal.
That's part of it. It's a body man's nightmare.
Well, there are going to probably not be many straight panels left when this is over. Here is the number 21, most recent to be damaged, Toby Butler. Comes out of the Northwest, had a pretty successful string of victories and career successes in track championships up there, and then went south, as so many guys do, down to try to forge a career in Winston Cup racing. And I think that he thinks that this truck deal may be his home. We're ready for the green. It flies, and Ruttman goes to the front. We're back underway here.
Morgan trying to get down to the bottom. Couldn't quite make the pass there. You know, his tires were good and cool. He wanted to try him maybe once. I think now he'll sit in there behind him. Nope.
Shows what you know.
Yeah, exactly. He's going for it.
Yeah, side by side. We've seen a lot of that today.
The ball's back on when Tony dashed the button.
Yeah, you bet. Get the pedal down, and he does it. He drives right around Ruttman on the inside. Bent up or not, that truck is handling.
It sure is. I don't think here the aerodynamics really make that big a difference. You know, they can knock the hood and the fenders off. As long as the tires are going straight, they're going to be fine.
Let's give a call to number 75 because he's also on the move, and that's Bill Sedgwick. Bill can't make up his mind whether he's a crew chief or a race car driver, and he's very good at both. He was Hornaday's crew chief before Hornaday got the call to drive for Earnhardt. And Sedgwick said, no problem, I'll drive the thing, and he jumps out there, and he's in 4th place. He's come from 8th, and he's doing a great job.
Oh, he really is. If you notice, though, Bill has a little different line than most of them. He's up above the yellow line as they get into turn 1 and 2 here.
Ruttman's thing is working on the top. He takes the Coca-Cola Ford around the outside and back to the lead. Tough pass?
Exactly. A couple weeks ago, they took both of Ernie Irvin's trucks, the Coca-Cola trucks that Joe's driving, went to North Wilkesboro and did some testing. It's obvious they learned some things.
You can bet the owners are watching back in North Wilkes. No surprise, I suppose. A couple of Winston Cup stars own these trucks. Irvin owns the lead truck, and Earnhardt the truck running second. And for the moment, I think Ernie's got the bigger smile because his guy's pulling away a little bit. Heck of a race.
And PJ just made the pass on Ron Hornaday. It's a good move. Just drove down there and went by him.
Sedgwick has a notion, too. Of course, PJ is a bit of a legend for the performance here in one of the winter heat races. Broke the rear end at the break during the where they make the pit stop at mid-race. Broke the rear end, pulled in, and locked up as he pulled into the pits. The crew really heroes. They changed the rear end inside of 12 minutes, got him back out, and went on to win the race. So it's one of the bits of truck lore that has already been created here in just the few races this series has run. Right with Hornaday, watching Sedgwick. Checking out that different line.
He's really trying to get up on the outside. There he goes. He's up there. Ron's a little bit lower in the turns than what the Bill is. Now he's going to try to turn down underneath him. He's really trying to get into Ron's head right now. If you understand what I'm saying, he's trying to intimidate him a little bit. I don't know that you can intimidate Ron Horner.
I got to wonder about that. If you can intimidate the protege of the intimidator, you're doing some pretty good work. I'll tell you, he's all over him, and he may get alongside him. We noticed in practice and in qualifying, he had the right wheels up over the yellow line. There's a blend line to exit the racetrack. Here's Legacy. He's doing a good job. He's hanging on to these guys. Now, this is a guy who comes out of the road racing ranks. He's an SCCA road racer by heritage, but
and
he
doing a good
hooked up
job.
with Rick Hendrick, and he's done a great job.
He really has. I talked to Scott after qualifying. He started 5th. He wasn't all that happy about the way his truck was driving. They made a lot of changes, track bar, added a couple spring rubbers, and it's obvious they went the right way.
You mentioned they were concerned they might go backward, but he's holding his own. Started 5th, he's running 5th.
The truck's owned by Billy Hess.
He got his start in road racing, as we said. He hooked up with the Hendrick organization when They needed some advice about road racing and went to him and said, how about coaching our drivers and help us work on setup? And obviously it was a match made in heaven. He's got a great ride here for the Truck Series. Back with the leaders, it has been a very competitive Racing Champions 200 here at Tucson Raceway Park. And here's a guy providing a lot of the sparks. We'll be back to see if he can pull off the pass right after this.
Back at Tucson Raceway Park, the curse of live television. Just as we went to break, Troy Beebe tagged the wall. We'll get you an update on his shape and whether or not he's going to be able to continue at all. He's back here in the pits with me is Butch Gilliland. Butch, you still own the track record, but you're not going to break it today.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Ultra Wheels custom truck, we broke a motor in practice, and we put our spare motor in it and started running warm. And we just started running warm again after we cooled it down. We didn't want to take any chances, so again, I got to thank Ultra Wheels and all my sponsors for getting us out here.
Well, Dave, these guys are keeping me too busy back here. We're running out of trucks too fast.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot of them still out there running strong, though. This was a disappointment. See how he crumpled the rear as Beebe backed her into the wall. That's a little different deal. We saw that truck at Phoenix with a different driver.
Yeah, John Nemechek was the chauffeur out there, and they've had some changes in the last month or so. So it looks like Troy Beebe's going to be the wheelman today.
Nemechek's going to be coming back with his own truck, I understand.
Yeah.
A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement about this series. A lot of trucks still under construction. 34 of them came here today, made qualifying attempts, and we're just about to go back to green with nice guy, number 84, sitting out front, Joe Rutman. We'll take a driver's ride on the restart. Here we go.
Riding with Ron Hornaday. He takes the flag. He's going back down. There's a lap car there. I think he's going to pin PJ in. He's got him.
What a nice move.
Well, he hadn't completed it yet.
And Lamper's Teague, who got in trouble, spun early. He's off the pace. PJ will come out of it in third. Hornaday up around the outside. Now they're going to go 3 wide for just a moment. Sedgwick on the bottom. Got her a little sideways. Gathers it back up alongside Hornaday, but thinking about Jones.
You can run down there for a lap or two. You know, they run around under caution. Those tires cool down. You can get down to the bottom and run a lap. Bill either needs to make the pass or get back in line.
He's around Hornaday. Pulled her off. That'll put Sedgwick third. Great run for him. It gets
That's
away.
the teacher passing the student there, right?
Well, you know, in the first Winston West race this year, they ran about 3/4 of the race together for the lead, and Sedgwick, the crew chief for Hornaday, with whom you're riding now, beat him, went on and won the race. So there's a precedent for this. Oh, look at the traffic.
They're splitting the 2 lap cars, Kerry Teague and Troy Beebe. They just did it. No problems.
Nice job. They left him room, too.
Yep.
I mean, they saw him coming. Figured, hey, these are the leaders. We're doing our own thing. We'll let them do their own thing. But Hornaday didn't have the same success, and so they're going to get away from it.
I tell you, sometimes sitting at home, you think, well, those guys are in their way. Look, they're doing all they can do right now to hang on to what they're driving.
How do you make that call? I mean, you look in your mirror, you see them coming. When do you decide, well, I need to move over a little bit? When do you say, hey, I paid the same entry fee he did?
Well, you know, you got to let the leaders go. If you're holding them up or your truck is really loose or pushing or whatever, it looks like Troy's got a lot of damage to the back there. He just needs to move over, let them go, get to halfway, work on it, and try to come back and make the lap up.
We got our first glimpse here of the High Plains Drifter. Number 6 is right behind this pair as they do battle. That is Sedgwick.
What about PJ?
Hustling around with PJ, making yet another pass. Sedgwick is definitely the truck on the move, but while he's doing his business, the leader is getting away. Rutman has opened up a substantial advantage on the field. You get glimpses of number 6. There he is, Rick Corelli, a man who in his career has won half the feature races he's run by reputation. 800 main events, he's won 400 of them. He's alongside Legacy of the race for 5th.
He's made the pass. Oh, we got a wreck.
Butch Miller's involved.
John, Troy Beebe.
Troy Beebe again.
Mark Gibson.
It looks like Gibson right there in the middle of it. And I wonder the way he was having trouble with that truck after he spun it before, if it might have been triggered by Beebe, but we hate to speculate about that. Bad news for Butch Miller. Won the ASA championship last year and is now taking his try at truck racing. And the damage there to the number 30 of Mark Gibson. It was a late entry here today. Looks like Butch got out of it pretty good shape.
Not too bad a shape. The Ray Bestis Ford Credit Ray Carpet Lease F-150. Looks like maybe I don't know if we just got help.
He first guy we saw spun, so maybe he started it. Here they come. Arriving late on the scene is Gibson. Looked like he might have just been a victim of circumstances. Not much room to get through there.
It's Jerry Churchill coming down to the bottom to miss him.
Big Jer. You see those trucks running down the highway, say Churchill Trucking on the side? That's how Jerry pays for his race truck. Butch Miller took a shot at Winston Cup racing and told me a couple of 3 years ago, he said, you know, give me a shop full of aluminum and fiberglass and I can build a race car. But I just don't know how to put this steel stuff together. I can't run a welder. And he thinks maybe that was one of the problems in Winston Cup racing. Here's your running order. It is Ruttman leading Sedgwick.
A lot of damage there on the 30 truck, Mark Gibson.
Gibson's going to have a tough time. He'll be struggling. It looks like BB may call it a day here. So we'll take a quick break and come back with more of the action. As predicted, it's been a wild one so far, and we're just 76 laps into the 200. Be back. We're back, we're live, we're racing, and we've got a brand new leader, or do we? Dave Despain with Elton Sawyer alongside. Heck of a truck race in Tucson. And how about Bill Sedgwick? He jumped that, or is he okay?
Boy, when they dropped the flag, he was gone. I don't know if Joe was sleeping or Bill just got a great jump on him, but he's leading this thing now.
Yeah, they're going to let him go, too. It's a clean start. Sedgwick has gone to the front and did so very impressively. A consistent march through the field, racing everybody along the way, but not overdoing it, not getting himself in any trouble. And I don't think bending up that truck a bit. I think it's still pretty clean.
That's a good point. That's a big part of short track racing, especially at a place like Tucson here with the racetrack. Yeah, there's 3 lanes, but it's still fairly narrow. You got to use your head. You got to be around the end.
He is the 4th leader of the race. And Sedgwick has done a terrific job in getting to the front, as we noted. Meanwhile, there is a terrific charge on. In 3rd and 4th positions, you've got the #1 of P.J. Jones. We're watching him from Ron Hornaday's onboard camera. And those two ought to get married here because they've certainly been hooked together the whole race. This has been the story of their event. But, again, the trick is working through the traffic. They got to kind of work together here.
Exactly. You know, you've got to run hard right now to try to stay on the lead lap, not to go a lap down before the 100 lap or the halfway mark, but yet you still got to try to save your truck. You can't beat the fenders off of it. These guys are doing a good job up front right now.
First race in the Chevrolet for PJ in a simple matter of economics. He was a Ford racer here during the Winter Heat Series, but Chevy came up with the deal. Chevy's really committed to this thing. They have 6. Trouble on the front straightaway. We got Walker Evans spun out, and we've got Sammy Swindell spun out, but continuing to truck. He's over on turn 2. Meanwhile, the off-road racing legend who contributed 18 of those championships we talked about at the top of the show has spun her out. That is Walker Evans. Also Jerry Glanville involved. He's number 81. Glanville, that's Jerry Glanville, the football coach. He's tried a number of different forms of motorsports. He looks like he got out of that pretty clean. I don't think he bent her up at all.
I think he just spun. I don't know if he hit oil or something, but just got away from him there.
Jerry Glanville first got involved. I don't know if he left any tickets for Elvis here or not, but he's been heavily involved in motorsports since he started drag racing Harley Davidsons. His pit crew is all Native American. They use their racing efforts to raise money for Scottish Rite Hospital for children. I mean, he's an interesting guy.
A lot of smoke off Sammy's truck, and you see Walker Evans' Dodge down on the inside. I'm not sure if they made contact or not. Sammy seems to get it in gear, and he's gone again.
Walker was doing most of the Dodge in there, and his Dodge told us this morning on NASCAR today.
The left rear tire on Sammy's truck there seems to be bent.
It's supposed to be round, right?
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, the round black things, yeah. Well, he's going to apparently stay out there, which should be an interesting challenge. Keep in mind, we're just 12 laps from, actually 13 laps from the caution flag that will bring the field to a stop. They'll go to the pits and have a brief caution for the entire field when they can change tires and make adjustments. Maybe he's going to try to tough it out. I don't know.
I'm sure that's what those guys are going to try to do. They don't want to waste 4 tires right now. They'll try to get those 12 laps behind him, get in there. Todd Myers and all those guys will work hard to get him 4 new Goodyears and send him back out.
And that makes a good point. They get a total of 4 tires for the day. The only exception being after you change your 4, if you were to cut one, then you have the option of going back and changing that. But the point is, if you go to the pits during, anything other than that gap in the middle, you're done for the day.
Yeah, you need to put the tailgate down, load it up, head on to California.
All right, looks like they're going to go a couple of more laps here before they go green, so we'll take a quick break and come back with more of the Racing Champions 200. We're just back to green at Tucson Raceway. Bill Sedgwick, the leader, got a great jump. P.J. Jones works his way around the leader at the moment of the or just prior to the restart, we should say. Joe Rutman. Rutman, number 84, is now third. P.J. got the great start, and they both put Hornaday behind him. A lot of action here.
Oh, they sure did. I thought this was a 3-lane racetrack. They were 4 wide coming off turn 2 a little while ago.
Rick Corelli, who qualified badly, started lucky number 13, has worked to 5th and is now going to be the subject of Hornaday's onboard camera as he challenges Hornaday for the 4th spot. Corelli, again, driving a very heady race here today. He's kept the body panels pretty straight. He's kept out of trouble.
He really has. He's done a great job. He's down at the bottom, just nice and easy. You know, he's not really working the truck hard. If he gets the opportunity, he's going to make the pass. He's gone on in a little deeper then.
One of the things that sets Corelli apart from many of the West Coast campaigners is that he doesn't live on the West Coast. He was born and raised in Denver. He loves the mountains. He's elected to stay in Denver. And High Point Drift, he's going to make this pass, isn't he? High Point Drifter is perhaps a little bit misrepresentative because he doesn't drift. He's very focused. He drives all the way.
Joe Rutman was really loose off turn 2. Real loose. I don't know if he had a tire going down or just, well, we're getting close to halfway. Maybe it's just wore out. He was sideways off turn 2.
They're going to go to 101 laps. Rutman managed to keep it in one piece. He's eager to get it stopped. We're 98 in, so he's 3 laps away from relief, the opportunity to go freshen up those tires, and he's lucky he's going to get that opportunity. That was close.
Joe may have ran just a little bit too hard early in the race, but he's going to get that halfway break and get him 4 more tires. I think he's going to be fine then. He's got a fast truck.
Contender from the get-go. Keselowski, by the way, is back out there. He's still smoking a little bit. I don't know if he'll stay out there. We're going to have $1,000 coming up here, the Gatorade Challenge Award, and it looks like Sedgwick is going to put that money in the bank here today. That'll go on lap 100, and a lap later, they will drop the yellow and send him to the pits. So off turn 4 they come. This should be the money lap, I believe, for Sedgwick. Behind him comes Jones and Corelli all the way up to 3rd after the wild moment there for Joe Rutman. It also cost him position to Hornaday. So the caution has flown, and Sedgwick is going to take him to the pits with the lead and a very impressive run thus far. There's Keselowski, the former ARCA champion, one of 3 Dodges in the field here today. And Walker Evans told us this morning on NASCAR Today that he's hoping they're teasing Dodge a little bit. He said, oh, he'd like to see him get in here with a factory support program. Ford and Chevy put up $250 million apiece in contingency money. If you win in a Ford or a Chevy here, it's 10 grand in extra prize money, and that's important to these teams.
Oh, it really is, Dave, you know, and the manufacturers are really behind this series, which is great. And that's the reason we're bringing these championship drivers in here.
Actually, it goes beyond that. It's 10 grand to the first Ford. So, I mean, you don't even have to win the race. 10 grand to the first Ford or the first Chevy. It's incentive. It's a way of encouraging the teams to come up with the bucks. $50,000 to $60,000, I guess, for a truck without an engine and transmission.
That's pretty close.
So, halfway through the battle, they head for the pits and a little bit of a respite. That means that Marty Reed is going to be going to work and bringing us up to date on all the excitement here. They're going to give him plenty of time to do the changes. Marty will be on top of all those stories down there. And we're going to come back and pick that up as we continue our live and exclusive coverage of the Racing Champions 200 from Tucson Raceway Park. Pretty out here. I love these trucks, but I'm going to miss the thunder tonight. Dave Wilson, stay on top of the action. This kind of action coming up midnight tonight, Eastern, on Saturday Night Thunder. It's the USAC Midgets on dirt. Is it a wild show or what? How can you not like that? Thunder tonight, USAC Western State Midgets from Ventura, California. And that'll be midnight Eastern time. And we're going to take a little bit of a break here. The kids get a chance to relax. It's halftime, if you will. Let's go down to the pits where all the action is. Marty Reed is right on top of it.
Yeah, you say you need a blow. Well, this is how they cool the motor on P.J. Jones's Chevrolet. And we'll get our cameras in here and get an Edward. Bring us up to date. You got the 4-wheel change and everything seems to be running well.
Yeah, we're happy. Series diehard #1. I mean, it's running good. It was a little, temperature's a little hot. I think everybody's having that problem, but you know, we're just hanging in there, trying to stay out of trouble. I'm trying not to hit anybody. And lap traffic on the restarts been a real problem. We've had so many restarts, but we're hanging in there. And I know Paige is watching at home, so hi, Paige, and hi, Mom. Trying to win this one for you, buddy.
And we're going to bring you an update on Paige's condition with Parnelli a little bit later. But while we've got everybody in here, we're going to talk to Joe Ruttman as we move over. He's running in 5th place right now. And Joe, what about changes on the truck? What are you going to do? Anything special?
Well, we weren't exactly right, but we were close, and we're afraid of going overboard with our changes, so we're going to be a little conservative. I made a couple mistakes, and that let them gang up on me, so hopefully I won't do that next time.
But don't let those young guys beat up on you there. Just go punch them back.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to drink my Coca-Cola and just think about this. I'm going to get even with them.
That's a new and novel way of getting the sponsor name in, wasn't it?
Yes, but that's also the wisdom of a veteran. Don't get mad, get even. There's 99 more laps to go, right?
Exactly.
Hey, hi, folks. Nice to see you out. Is that the Linger family? You bet. Glad to see you here. The kid is doing a great job today, I promise you. Here is your running order. Sedgwick on top from Jones, with Corelli, Hornaday, and Ruttman rounding out the top 5. And we have stopped the race as planned for a scheduled pit stop. The pits are outside the racetrack. Here's the rest of your top 10. Gary Collins, Mike Bliss, having a really nice run here. He's your Silver Crown champion. Bob Straight, Butch Miller, and Jack Sprague, all stock car veterans. As we say hey to the fans, let's go back to Marty with more from the pits.
Well, we just missed them putting a couple turns of wedge into the truck of Ron Hornaday, and he just fired the motor up to take a listen, see if everything's running okay. What changes you going to make? We saw him put a little wedge in.
Yeah, we're going to put a little wedge in. We got a little loose at the beginning of the thing. I think we'll be all right. The track's getting hot. The sun's coming down right now, so it's going to be a different racetrack the second 100.
Yeah, we know Dale's watching right now. You got any messages for him?
Well, I hope his day tomorrow ain't going to go like mine right now. It's pretty tough. The guys are running real hard. They set a good, fast pace. We try to save the tires a little bit, but right now, Dale, we're just going to go out there and do the best we can. We're going to go out there and just play it cool the first half and see if we got something for the end.
Well, you're doing a heck of a job on the in-car cameras for us, Ron, and we're going to go talk next door to Corelli. Come on with me over here, and we'll just stick our heads in. This is really kind of neat, being able to just talk to the guys.
You're doing good.
Well, Rick, tell us what you did to the truck, partner.
Well, right now, I mean, with so much oil out there on the racetrack, we're a little tight right now, so we're trying to make an adjustment to get it cut through the middle a little better. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're rolling the dice.
Well, any other changes besides that then?
We're just going to get some new Goodyear tires and get out there and get this total motor oil up, try and run it up front.
Well, guys, they're trying to get the jack out of the way, and they're going to run over my foot, so I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, fair enough, Marty. Good work down there. Corelli says he's going to gamble a little on the change, and Ruttman says he'll be conservative. And I'm wondering how much difference it'll make one way or the other, do you think? I mean, do the chassis changes that you make, are those really the key to victory in the end?
Oh, for sure, especially this second half here. You know, the first part, they ran 100 laps. Looked like maybe Joe's truck got just a little bit loose there at the end. So maybe what they don't want to do is get it too tight early, where they push the right front tire off. I'm not so sure what Ron was thinking there. Maybe he's not real happy with what he has. I think they may just put 4 tires on it, make one chassis adjustment, and go get it.
And you also have to consider the possibility that they may not have been telling Marty exactly what they were going to do. I have heard that they don't always tell pit reporters the truth. Let's go back and find out what's happening in the leaders pit as the trucks begin to return to the track. Marty?
Well, we just managed to catch up to Bill Sedgwick. He's on the backside. Actually, it's nice and cool under here, the canopy cover and everything. Hey, nice job getting the early lead here. Picked up the $1,000 bonus for leading at the halfway point. What about changes you're going to make for the second half?
We're going to make a couple little changes, not too much. This Spears manufactured in Sunoco Chevy was really something. I'll tell you what, Chris Robinson put a ton of Chevy Thunder under the hood again for me, and I can't say enough for our crew chief, Dan Press, just coming with us this year. This thing's unbelievable.
Dave Despain and Elton Sawyer were commenting how good you were on the restarts.
Yeah, that we got this transmission in here. It's a little bit different, something we thought about, and it seemed to be paying off.
Paying off. You got the lead. Can you hold on?
I don't know. You know, this 10-minute break gives everybody a chance to kind of regroup, and, you know, it's really hard to say. You know, there's a couple trucks sliding around out there, and they're going to make them better, so it's going to be a tough race.
Well, they're bringing this truck back off the jack, so that means we're getting ready to go racing in less than probably about, we got a 4-minute signal. Stay with us. More from Tucson after this.
Mike Bliss is an incredible open-wheel racer. For example, Indianapolis Raceway Park. Last year, he won in a midget, a sprint, and a Silver Crown car. No one had ever done that before. He went on to win the Silver Crown Championship. But I'll tell you what, he's also a heck of a truck racer, because here he is in the pits running 6th with Marty.
Well, down here with the man, we just saw a lot of your highlights from last year when you won everything. You were talking to some of the guys earlier today about how big a learning curve this is, but you're doing real well right now.
We're just trying to stay out of trouble, but we're getting banged around a little bit. But we're changing the bar, and hopefully we'll be a little better.
They changed the bar, and actually, how hard? Well, I'm telling you guys, we're going to have to go because they just said gave him less than 60 seconds. So you're going to have to forgive me because he's got to go back to work.
It's important to keep your priorities straight. When they say it's time to go race, it's time to go race. Down through the traffic, back out, hang a left, wait for the red light to change. Don't see this in most other forms of motorsports. These guys have been given the command to refire the engines, head back through the pit area, back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, listening to Mike there, he's talking about maybe they changed the sway bar. I'm not sure if his truck was tight or if it was loose, but
okay, let's go back down to Marty real quickly. He's got Parnelli Jones.
We promised you an update on Page. Parnelli Jones, give us the word. I know it's better.
Yeah, about the last 2 or 3 weeks, he started to make larger improvements, and we've been able to communicate with him. He can write now. Mario Andretti came in to see him the other day, and he wrote Mario. He's wrote "I love you," and all the yes and no answers are usually pretty correct. So we're pretty happy about that. And he's been trying to talk, and he's been trying to walk, and the whole staff at the hospital and the rehab center are really up on his progress.
Well, all I can say is, on behalf of all of us, Paige, I know you're watching. We are pulling for you, partner. Want to see you back here real soon. Thanks, Parnelli.
Boy, I'll second that. There's his brother doing a great job trying to win the race for Page today. Page, of course, injured in a sprint car at Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. Actually, a Silver Crown car, wasn't it, at Eldora. The first time he'd ever been one, and went out there and set the track record, was fast qualifier. I mean, he's just a remarkable race car driver, and everybody is very pleased.
This was going to be Page's ride here, the #1 truck.
Yeah, exactly right.
And PJ's kind of filling in for him until he gets back.
And doing a pretty decent job, I would
Doing a really
say.
good job.
So they're forming up for the restart. Now, the trucks have all gotten fresh rubber and whatever other chassis adjustments they wanted to make. And I guess to some extent that's got to be a guessing game. I mean, we heard a couple of guys talking about the oil on the racetrack. The other factor here is that you get a big temperature change when you run late in the day in the desert. Here's how the restart order will work, but I wonder how much of a factor that's going to be. They start on a hot racetrack, 86 degrees. That sun gets down a little bit, it's going to cool off fast.
Exactly. I think the racetrack will be a little tighter now. It's a little cooler. If the trucks was loose earlier, they should be just fine. If they were too tight earlier, they needed to loosen them up a little bit.
Whatever adjustments they elected to make have been made, so now it is pretty much in the hands of the drivers. 99 tours of the 3/8 mile oval to go. If the first 101 were any indication, I think we'll see a fair number of body slams and body checks, and they'll ding up a few truck fenders before they're finished. But bottom line, we should see an exciting finish indeed. Now, Pirelli has come down into the middle of the traffic on the bottom. He's just looking for his place to get in line. Yeah, we're still a couple of laps away. So, there are 16 trucks on the lead lap. Spotters are hanging over the fence with what may be the best seat in the house. They're at least close to the action. Marty Reed, what you got down there?
Well, remember when you were a kid and you wanted to sneak into the ball game and you had to peer through the fence because you didn't have the money to get in? Well, that's what this reminds me of. And you're right, some of the spotters have moved because they wanted to be closer in case their truck had troubles. So these guys have all climbed up on the fence. This is right behind turn 2, and you can see a whole row of them up here. Cheap seats. It's not real comfortable, but it's very effective if your man's in trouble.
Next time we come back, Marty, get the arch support concession. I'm sure we can pick up a few extra bucks on the side. The big question in my mind is the number 75 of Bill Sedgwick. He didn't sound 100% confident that he could hang on to that lead, but I thought he did a terrific job getting to the lead. As we get some idea of the glare here from the onboard camera, particularly as they get down here into turn 3, I'd like to get your take, Eldon Sawyer, on the race leader here. Do you think he can hang on to it?
Bill Sedgwick, I was really impressed. That interview, if you noticed, there was a big smile on his face.
So you're thinking
I think he's a good poker player.
You didn't give us the whole story. Around the pace car and back to pick up the tail end of the field goes the Dodge of Walker Evans. We are very close to a restart here. Sedgwick will lead it. It's fascinating to me that a crew chief can jump into the pilot's seat, but it's not unheard of in this field. We got a couple of guys who have done that. Dave Resendez is not having a great day in Jeff Bodine's Ford, but he is the crew chief on that number 7.
Exactly.
Truck.
Dave has done some Busch Grand National racing. Well-known modified driver from up north, and he is the crew chief on the truck when Jeff is driving it.
He may lose that ride, however. He will lose it to Bodine when Jeff is loose on Winston Cup weekends, but Jeff is also planning to put his son in that truck.
So Dave may be the number 3 driver.
He may end up being the number 3 driver. Good thing he's got a crew chief check to fall back on, because his driver employment with that group is obviously only periodic. They do have a little oil on the racetrack. They're still cleaning up in turn 2, so we'll seize a quick break and come back with more. Stay with us. There will be more NASCAR racing of the Winston Cup variety tomorrow here on ESPN. I'm Bob Jenkins. We're back at a short track tomorrow for the First Union 400 here at the 5/8 at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway. And once again, Jeff Gordon has done it. For the 4th time this year, he is on the pole for tomorrow's race. Other top 5 qualifiers include Brett Bodine, Derek Cope, Bobby Hamilton, and Dale Earnhardt. We'll have a half-hour pre-race show beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time, and then the green flag at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon Eastern. We hope you'll join us from North Wilkesboro. Right now, let's go back to Dave in Tucson. Hi, Bob. Wish you were here. We're having a ball. I bet Richard Petty's still jumping up and down. Bobby Hamilton qualified 4th. That's a great run. That team's all pumped.
Oh, they're really getting it together. Last week at Bristol, he ran awful strong, and great qualifying effort at Wilkesboro.
We're still under yellow here because after the 15-minute break, one of the cars came back out and basically oiled down the. I didn't call it a car, did I?
I think you did.
The car. It's a truck.
I was getting ready to correct you, but you corrected yourself.
It's a truck. Anyway, it was a truck. Anyway, the truck leaked. Truck leaked oil on the racetrack, and so they have had to put a little more of the speedy dry back out. Got a glimpse there of Gary Collins, number 74, up on the outside. He's actually having a great run here. He's moved from 14th to 7th. We talk about crew chiefs. This guy's a truck builder. In fact, he built the very first SuperTruck and decided, hey, if you're going to build him, you might as well get on the fun part too. And he's doing a good job.
He's doing a great job. You know, after qualifying, like you say, 14th, he's up to 7th. Not only is he a good car builder, he's a pretty good driver.
Take a look at that truck and keep in mind the mentality of the man who puts his heart and soul into the construction of the vehicle, the man who cares about the mechanical thing, this wonderful creation. It doesn't have a mark on it. He's not out there beating the fenders off of it like some of these guys. He's taking care of his equipment.
He may have to go home and fix it. That's the reason why he's not beating the fenders off of it.
He's got her from 14th to 7th, as we say. Wait a minute. That right front corner bent up just a little bit. I don't think anybody's going to get out of here with all the body panels straight here today. You got a glimpse of number 20, Walker Evans, taking his position back on the tail end of the field. We're getting close to the restart. They're working in the speedy dry. Put me in the driver's seat and talk me through the mindset. Now, what are you thinking, knowing there's just 99 to go?
Well, we've got 100 laps, or 101 laps behind us. These guys have made all the adjustments. Wedge, put it in, took it out, maybe put a spring rubber in. It's time to go racing now. They can't hold back anymore. Let's get after it.
Green flies, and we're back underway. Lap 102. Lead trio working around the outside of the lap.
Off turn 2.
That's Hornaday on the bottom. Is he going to squeeze?
Hornaday at the bottom.
Nice decision.
He's made it.
Not only that, but he got PJ with that lapper in between them there for just a moment.
The thing is, PJ really needs to be careful here. Needs to be careful. He can get over anxious and get himself in trouble. Good job there.
And also getting around is Ruttman. So Ruttman will move up to 4th. Corelli got around PJ as well. The traffic really caught Jones out that time. And the leader,
Rod's going underneath Sedgwick.
Did they fix that thing or what? Onboard shot from the new leader for the first time today. Ron Hornaday just drove around Bill Sedgwick, and PJ has a problem. You got just a glimpse of the number 1 truck.
Oh, got a little touch there, it looks like.
This is outside the race.
Left rear tire looks like it may be flat on PJ's truck.
What a heartbreak. Marty Reed is there.
Well, he's had a left rear tire go down. It's coming off. I'm looking for it right now. I don't know whether he ran over something awfully hot.
Maybe Meanwhile, back on the racetrack, Steve Portigay has spun.
We don't have a caution.
No yellow. They're signaling him to hurry, and he's just going to make it. He's back underway just as the leaders come around. Portigay spun around, didn't hit anything. Green stays out. Hornaday, the new leader. PJ in trouble.
We do have caution now.
Now caution for number 37. That's Bob Strait, short track veteran, hit the wall a ton with the right front. Sparks fly for Strait.
I don't know if they'll be able to fix that one there, Dave.
Well, it'll take a while. He's certainly, nah, I don't think so. That would be a waste of time, wouldn't it? Too bad for Bob Strait. He had a pretty decent run going here today, starting with qualifying. Let's see how it happened.
It's like Steve in the 83 truck just lost it coming off of turn 4.
This is Portigay. Yeah, this is
Steve Portigay.
Well, now maybe Strait got involved in this. Let's see. I don't think so. This is Portigay on the front chute. And the flagman, who's a story in his own right, Alan Porter, is motioning him, go, 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 get that thing fired up, get it out of the way. Here's Teague, another short track veteran, all beat up in the left rear as a result of a separate incident. And so when the field regroup and they're going to put a little more speedy dry out, there's a lot of oil on this racetrack.
Sure is.
And
I don't know if that's causing a lot of these problems, a lot of the wrecks. The racetrack may be awful slick.
They're going to black flag, I would assume, probably Kerry Teague.
The left rear quarter panel's clean off of it. They're going to need to get in and get that taken off.
Don't want that flopping and flailing around out there. Let's go back to Marty in the pits for a quick update.
Remember, guys, like I said, I couldn't see if it had been cut down. Well, here was the problem. Take a look at the valve stem. As somebody must have gotten inside. You can see some paint rubbed off here. This valve stem's completely gone. This one's bent and broken. And then, of course, the rest of the tire just went away. Elton, you ever have that happen to you?
I sure have, Marty. That's a good point. I think exactly what happened there, the 51 truck of Kerry Teague trying to get a lap back. I think we mentioned on it earlier, they were 3 wide. May have got in the left rear. PJ cut that valve stem.
PJ's back out there, but he'll have lost, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps, I suppose, now. 3 laps down for PJ.
He's just racing now to get those valuable points.
Well, and a very good point indeed, because the point leader coming in here, Skinner, blew up early. The next 4 guys in the point standings from Phoenix were all Winston Cup guys who were racing in North Wilkes. So really, it's a brand new season in terms of the championship, and getting all the points you can get out of here with will be
the guys that are racing here today are the ones that are going to get all the notoriety and the points for the championship.
We'll be right back. Hey, we got as much hitting as a hockey game right here. Speed World comes to Tucson, the Racing Champions 200. And riding with the leader, Ron Hornaday, you watch the former leader, B.J. Jones, struggle now. 3 laps in arrears. Fast truck, but he lost those laps in the pits. Right now, he may stand as a bit of a barrier between the second place man, Rick Corelli, and third place, Bill Sedgwick, as they try to get
going down to the bottom. He's trying to get one of those 3 laps back. He don't have any time to waste. He's going to run as hard as he can run for as long as he can run.
See that little touch? It was so subtle. That's close.
That was a Dale Earnhardt move on a Dale Earnhardt truck.
Yeah, Hornaday's probably prepared for that one, right? No harm done. BJ glued to the bottom. This allows Corelli.
They touch a little bit there.
Man, look at that.
PJ wants that lap back.
That's a great looking truck. Now, this one is called Big D, I believe. This one's named for the car owner, but the other truck...
The flame coming out of the tailpipe there.
Yeah, that's
what
weird.
that is just excess fuel that's in the tailpipes. It's just burning. It's really no big problem.
No big problem. The other truck, they've got 2 here. The other one is called Neon Leon. It's named after the crew chief. They're having a lot of fun with the football player's name and the paint job. And he's going to try to get that lap back on the inside. Gives the leader another little nudge.
Smart move on Ron Hornaday's part. Let him go.
He let him go. Meanwhile, just as we complimented Gary Collins on keeping that truck in one piece, he has skated along the wall and scraped her up a little bit. He's won a couple of Winston Classic races in addition to his truck.
And he couldn't get into pit. He needs to make another lap. The pit's on the outside of turn 2. He couldn't get up. He's got to make another lap now.
And Hornaday has managed to get Corelli back behind him in the shuffle of the traffic. The first truck in line is now 2 laps down.
And he would love to see a caution right now. That would be...
We got just a glimpse of number 74, Collins, going to the pits.
Rick Corelli down to the bottom.
On some of this, that
Sure does. They've been touched a little bit there.
From 13th starting spot, number 6, Rick Corelli. We've got a spun car on the backstretch. It is coach Jerry Glanville facing the wrong direction.
That's a great break for P.J. Jones. Gets a lap back.
They do not race back to the yellow flag in NASCAR truck racing. Elton Sawyer, who sat up to the firewall in concrete last Saturday about this time in Bristol, watching them race back to the yellow flag and almost run over you. I wonder what you think of that rule.
Well, Dave, I tell you, I think we should leave the racing to the green flag. When the caution comes out, there's a problem on the racetrack. I think we need to slow down. Hold your position. Double file restarts like PJ there. He worked really hard, got up ahead of the leader. Caution came out. Boom. He's got his lap back. Let's don't race back.
Yep, I'll buy that 100%. They wrote this rule book with a clean sheet of paper and thought the right rule was no racing back to the yellow. I say yes, and let's apply it to Winston Cup as well, and also to Busch Grand National. So PJ gets one back. Let's see, 123. I'm not a rocket scientist. 77 laps to the finish. He's going to have a tough time doing much more than that, but he's going to scramble right back up front, trying to get another one.
If those guys, yeah, that's courtesy. If they let him, if the other trucks that are more laps down, just let him go back up there. That's a great move. If he can get another one back, get a caution, he'll be back in this thing.
Hornaday sounds tired of looking at you over there, boy. Hornaday had come back from 3 laps down in a Southwest Tour race on this racetrack in the car, heat races, to win it. This is truck racing, and as we go back to green, Corelli is second behind the Lapper Jones. The scramble for position behind them, and this is going to let Hornaday open up a gap. But here comes PJ trying to get another one back.
He's down there. He's side by side with Hornaday. Ryan needs to be real careful here. That's a truck that's 2 laps down. But yet he don't want him to get back in the lead lap because he could be a contender.
Uh-oh, trouble behind him.
Big crash.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks involved, and as they come back around, they are smacking off turn 4, and Jones got back around him.
He's only 1 lap down now.
I'll tell you what, this is becoming dramatic indeed. Resendez is one of those who spun out. Legacy was involved in it as well. Steve Fortengay spinning again. Who did I miss? I guess the ortho number 21 involved in it was Toby Butler, and there may have been one more. Most of them are up and running again. Here is the story right here. P.J. Jones has made up 2 laps, and look at that contact as they came back to the stripe for this one.
Oh, they hit pretty hard there. Ron's giving him plenty of room.
And there's your spin.
Scott Legacy slows down. Looks like he has no damage. Sammy Swindell to the bottom. Yeah, good job for Sammy Swindell.
Yeah, pitcher sideways, stand on the gas. He knows how to do that, right? So 5 trucks were involved. Here's another look, another angle. See how it started right there.
Oh, maybe Walker Evans in the 20 truck.
Maybe?
Little love tap to the back of the Toby Butler truck. Or maybe it wasn't a love tap. That was a hard hit.
In any case, Walker goes on by, and they stack them like cordwood behind Mr. Evans in the Dodge. Walker had a great quote down here. He said, I need some cacti here for brake markers. He's the guy who won 18 off-road champions. He didn't say cacti, he said cactus. Put a cactus out there so I know where to put the brakes in. Acting Cruz back over to the pit area. They're going to glue team quarter panel on. Well, I hope enough to satisfy the officials. I don't know if I'd buy that or not, but he wants to get back out there and log all the laps he can.
Maybe just cut it off. I don't think they need it anymore.
So it has been a yellow flag strewn 200 lapper here. We're 128 in, and we're working the 9th yellow of the day. Hornaday is your leader over Ruttman, Corelli, Bliss, and Sedgwick rounding out the top 5. And that is a terrific run for Mike Bliss, who qualified inside the top 10 here. The Silver Crown champion is up to 4th, 1 in the midget at Winchester. A week ago tomorrow, comes back here and demonstrates his ability to manhandle a 3,400-pound truck pretty effectively as well. So
Joe Ruttman, I'm really impressed with the way he's making a run here this last 100 laps. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
All right, guys, you were mentioning Mike Bliss. He's got double duty this weekend. As soon as this race is over, they're heading for the airport. He's taking the red-eye back to Indiana. Guess what? He's going to be running in one of the sprinters and midgets tomorrow.
Well, that's the busy workaday life of the open wheel racer. It was a doubleheader last weekend, and then coming out here this weekend to do the Far West time zone thing, and then the overnight flight back. It's all part of the business if you want to be a racer. He's got a good team going there. That's a good situation for him with Jim Smith at Ultra Wheels outfit. Yeah, let's see what Resendez has gotten out in front of this bunch. They're not going to throw the green. PJ got right back up there in position to try to get yet another lap back, and now Resendez has gone in front of them, and perhaps that's that courtesy thing we talked about before, or no courtesy. Resendez says,
well, he's trying to get a lap back too. You know, he has
exactly. Courtesy has its limit. 7 has been run over a little bit, or run alongside. They've been rubbing a little.
Looks like maybe he was at Darlington. It was a little Darlington strike there on the right side.
Rubbin's racing. They say when the cars get out at it, and it's very much the same with the trucks. 130 down, 70 to go. They're going to run them around one more here. But I'm not sure. I guess they're still just warming up the field, but I think they're going to go next time live. Well, PJ may be the story of this, but there's a good look at the extra decorative design, the exciting new graphics on the side of the Excite number 7.
I'm sure Jeff's sitting back watching this. Pretty excited about his truck.
Behind him, behind him, PJ, who is the story of the race, trying to win it for his injured little brother. 3 laps down with a flat tire. Has 2 of them back. And is looking for another one as they come to the green. Hornaday, 16 the leader, takes him 3 wide. PJ put Resendez away in a hurry.
And he's going after Hornaday.
Ruttman trapped on the outside. Remember, he's the real second-place driver, and here is PJ.
He's got it. He's on the lead lap.
Back on the lead lap.
Now he needs a caution.
It's all been followed his way so far. Let's see if Hornaday will perhaps mount a more stiff resistance this time. I don't think so.
No, I think so. I think he's going to let him go. There's 70 laps to go here. He's going to save his tires and have something there at the end.
Do you think it's a trap if he would get lured into racing with him? Uh-oh, trouble here on the number 23, T.J. Clark. He has been black flagged, and Clark will take it behind the wall.
Ruttman's really putting some pressure on Hornaday there.
P.J. made up 3 laps in 21 with the help of 3 cautions. Pretty remarkable.
Ruttman to the bottom.
He's there. Couldn't get by. This is a
smart move. Smart move. We've got 70 laps to go. He didn't want to stay down there at the bottom and get those tires heated up and wear them out too early. Good move on Joe Ruttman's part.
He also sent Hornaday perhaps a little bit of a message. I'm here. You got to deal with me before this is over.
Exactly.
Don't think too much about PJ.
He's run awful hard trying to keep PJ 3 laps down. He may have heated his tires up a little bit.
Resendez third in line is a lap down or more. The third place truck on the racetrack is Pirelli's number 6. He's done a good job coming up.
Oh, he really has. Great job for Rick Pirelli.
You know, you mentioned Ruttman, and I thought his comment during the break was interesting. We're going to take the conservative approach, try to be there on lap 200. Pirelli wants around Resendez, moves up and does a little bumper banging, sending a message.
And basically, Dave's running well enough to be there. He is a lap down. He's trying to go under Ruttman to help get one of his laps back.
Well, he's been watching PJ and figures, hey, if Jones can do it, why can't I? Points count for me, too, or for my team. 3 different drivers expected to manhandle that truck before it's over. The number 11 going behind the wall has been black flagged. That's Mike Perlberg, the former motocross champion from up in the Pacific Northwest.
PJ's getting away from these guys.
PJ looking for a caution to come back to the tail end of the field. Hornaday is your leader and opens up a bit of a separation now for just a moment over the Coca-Cola Ford, owned by Ernie Irvin and driven here by Joe Ruttman.
PJ needs to be really careful here. He's run awful hard down at the bottom to get those laps back, and it looks like Ron may be picking him up here. Ron's really got in a good rhythm there, nice and easy on the throttle. Truck's nice and straight up off the corner. I think he's in pretty good shape. He may catch PJ.
The guy who's struggling now is Sedgwick, who had led the race, was a bit coy in the mid-race break interview about what he might have for the end. And we got trouble. 2 trucks have spun. One of them is McEachern. It looks like the other one that went around, I'm not sure who the other one was, but they have both of them have gotten back underway, but the yellow will fly, and so PJ...
He can drive all the way around and get to the tail end.
Wow. this is going to be an amazing story. 144 down. The 10th caution of the day flies for the spin at turn 4. McEachern, number 54, Steve McEachern, the blues guitar player, has the blues right now. Gelati was the other truck that spun, and we'll be right back with more. It may be the most varied resume in the field today. P.J. Jones winning at Daytona in the Toyota IMSA car. P.J. Jones winning in the truck. This was the very first truck race. This was at Mesa Marin, an exhibition race. P.J. comes out of the cockpit and says, I'm a winner in Tucson as well. That was during the winter heat race when he had the remarkable event with the broken rear end, came back to win it. He may upstage that story here because he is 10th back from 3 laps down. Now, it's one thing to get up alongside Hornaday, get the fender out in front of him, get a yellow. It's incredible luck to have that happen 3 times. But now as we sort out a bit of a front straightaway melee here, I got to wonder about the difference between accomplishing that and marching through a field of very competitive trucks to get back to the front.
Oh, that's a great point, Dave. I'm not so sure that, well, I'm pretty sure that the spotters on the 16 truck were telling them, look, PJ's 3 laps down, don't race him real hard. It'll be a little more difficult to get by now.
It'll be a double file restart. There will be 9 trucks in front of PJ. Hornaday is the leader, and we've got 52 laps to go. PJ, the last truck on the lead lap. Hornaday moves right up in front of Resendez, who wants his lap back as well. And again, Hornaday will use that opportunity to open up a little gap.
3 wide in the back straightaway.
Here he comes. Rutman is second. That's PJ charging through the traffic. Legacy, the next man in line. He's number 24 with that Jeff Gordon paint job. How much can he afford to cook the tires, I guess, at this point?
It doesn't make any difference. He's got it on the mat, running as hard as he can run, trying to get back up there to the front.
Hornaday worried about Resendez. Said, I know PJ's back there, but right now I got this guy trying to beat my fenders off there, trying to get his lap back. Resendez is really running hard.
He's trying to get one of those laps back. Ron's truck seems like it needs a few laps to get some heat in the tires where he can take off.
On the other hand, Rutman has not been able to get around Resendez and get up there and put any pressure on Hornaday either. So Ron Hornaday is having things all his way. Yeah, the bad luck fell in terms of PJ getting all those laps back. PJ still got a bunch of hustling to go. He's around Legacy.
Down in the bottom.
Working his way through the back of the field. He is absolutely cutting a trail through lap trucks. He's up to 7 and climbing. This is the story of the Racing Champions 200. P.J. Jones with an inspired drive, 47 laps to go. Can he get there?
Just weaving in and out of traffic. He's just driving for everything he's worth.
The next position in front of him will be Butch Miller. We'll be looking for Butch Miller. The lapper here has hit the fence a couple of times. Kobe Butler, and P.J. will dispose of him easily. That's Miller down on the bottom of the racetrack, taking the low line. And he will be the next man in line as P.J. goes after 6th spot.
P.J.'s been at the bottom. He's been in the middle. He's been on the outside of this racetrack. He is just coming through.
Remember, he lost the 3 laps to a cut valve stem. If you've just joined us, there's nothing wrong with the truck. They slapped a new tire on there, and again, that's within the rules. They got 4 new tires on the brake. They immediately had the valve stem knocked off one of them, so they get to change that one for free. They come back out 3 laps down. They get it all back through the yellows and the good fortune, and now he races for 6th spot with Butch Miller. And Butch is definitely liking the bottom here.
I never thought he could make up 3 laps on this racetrack to go that many laps down, but he's done a great job.
Hornaday is hoping to leave him for dead and not have to worry about PJ, and in fact, he's getting away from the 2nd place truck pretty effectively. Resendez remains the lapper between them as PJ goes up to the outside.
Oh, Bill Sedgwick.
Sedgwick is the next man he'll pass. That's 98 down on the inside. That is Butch Miller, and he will lose 6th spot here. 75 is next in line. That's Sedgwick. He's 5th, and PJ's after him.
Trying to think if there's something wrong maybe with Butch Miller's truck. He's way down at the bottom.
He's cutting the same laps, same lap times, though. I thought the same thing at first, but it's taken PJ about 5 laps to get around him, so he seems to be cutting some pretty good lap times. See, in front of both of them, he's passed.
Maybe Butch has figured out something. Walker Evans.
Past Sedgwick as Evans spins it at 4.
He needs to sit still right now and not
Yellow
move.
flies again. Stay calm, Walker. I'll tell you what, he's having a lot of fun doing this and adapting pretty well to the bull ring here. I mean, this is a guy who races 1,000 miles down the Baja Peninsula, coming here and running with 30 trucks on a 3/8 mile oval. This is a little bit of a change of life.
I bet you go interview him right now. He's not having any fun.
Well, I suppose that's probably true. Man, you hate changing clothes and having the boiled shirt on before the end of the day. But Mike Skinner, who came in as the point leader, missed a shift, broke it early.
Oh, had an awful good truck, too. I'm sure he just feels terrible, but it's an awful big man to take the responsibility there. Said he missed a gear. Hey, we'll go on to the next race.
Yeah, that's you called that one exactly right. No hedging, no dodging. He could have said, oh, yeah, I don't know, the thing just quit. Well, he missed a shift, and that was the reason. Now, the 7 truck of Resendiz did beat the 16 of Hornaday back to the line at the end of the lap prior to the yellow. When you don't race back to the yellow, you have to have a place to go back to for scoring purposes, and it is the end of the previous lap. And at the end of that lap, Resendiz, in fact, did have the nose in front of Hornaday, so he will have picked up a lap. He is not yet on the lead lap. All right, here is a good look inside the cockpit of Mike Bliss.
He's done a great job. He really has. The side of that truck looks like it's been to Darlington, South Carolina, but he's done a great job.
When I talked to him this morning, just before NASCAR today, he was shaking his head. He said, man, this is so much different. This is so hard. These guys are so good. They've got so much experience. I just got to get laps. I just got to get seat time, and here he is running third. This is really strange.
Oh, it really is. He's done a great job. He's not used to having a roof over his head there.
Well, he's handling it very nicely. Thank you very much. We have 1 lap to go. We've completed 163. 164 goes in the book, and they'll throw the green on 165. And Rutman will get another shot at Hornaday, although he hasn't been able to do much with him so far. P.J. Jones will try to clamber inside the top 5 from, I believe, now 7th. Butch Miller is being shown as 5th, and that means that the 75 truck of Sedgwick is 6th, and Jones is 7th. So he picked up a couple of spots pretty impressively, but they'll get tougher to pass.
Oh, it sure will. As you get closer to the front, those guys are not going to be as easy to get by. Look, ready to go green.
All right, here we come. Green is out. Hornaday the leader. Let's follow him around.
Great jump. That's just what Ron wants. He wants to get a lap car in between he and Joe Rutten. Of course, Dave Resendiz has better ideas there. He's going to the bottom.
About the last 3 have been carbon copies, each of the previous. The restarts, the pattern. Hornaday gets the jump, puts Resendiz between himself and the 84 of Rutman. Following PJ, not able to do anything with Sedgwick thus far. And I continue to wonder if Rutman is lurking.
I still believe he's a pretty good fucking player.
Yeah, you said that before, and we'll know in a pretty short time because we're down to 33 laps to go.
I'm sure he and Ernie have sat down and discussed the type of strategy they'd like to run this race, and I'm sure Joe's was going under Ernie's direction, even though Ernie's back in North Wilkesboro.
Of course, he and Ernie were out testing in the trucks last week, and Joe was quick to admit this morning that Ernie just ran away from him. Rutman's caught the leader, and PJ continues to work on Bill Sedgwick for 6th.
And Dave Resendiz has got by the leader. Got one of his laps back.
Resendiz has unlapped himself, and now you're looking at the Coca-Cola F-150 as the Craftsman NASCAR SuperTrucks have at it. We have a battle for the lead, and it is the 2 red trucks in Chevy versus Ford. 16 and 84 Hornaday versus the veteran Joe Rutman. And here's PJ's move on the inside.
Down the bottom, side by side with Bill Sedgwick. That's for 6th position.
30 to go. PJ to 6th.
Oh, it runs Bill up just a little bit.
Got around him that time, completed the pass. It'll get tougher from here. It's a race against the clock now for P.J. Jones. And the next man in line will be Bliss, who has lost a couple of spots here. Pirelli has moved around Bliss, and Bliss will be next to come under fire from PJ. A couple of open wheel veterans. Those guys have raced each other before in much different circumstances.
Exactly. Check out Butch Miller. He is really on the move down on the bottom. That's really impressive. His truck really must be working well.
The only guy who's really been able to make it cook down there. We're getting down to the end. We've got 27 to go of the 200 that make up the Racing Champions 200 here in Tucson. Stick around. It's going to be a wild finish. Two big stories. Mike Bliss has pulled off an apparent problem for the man who ran so well and was third. The other big story, number 98, Butch Miller. We mentioned that low line he was taking just before we went to the break. I hate those words, while we were away, but while we were away, Butch marched from 5th to 2nd and looks like a man who could win the race. How is he doing at Elton Sawyer?
He definitely has the shortest way around the racetrack. You just wouldn't think he could carry enough momentum through the middle of the corner. Now he's moved up behind Ron. I really believe Butch has something for him, though. When he gets down to the bottom, he's passed 4 trucks in the last 6 or 8 laps. Great job.
And the change in line is dramatic. PJ has moved to 3rd. Remember, he got a little help here. Butch to the bottom, challenge for the lead. Can't get by. Rudman has backed up. PJ has moved up. Bliss has pulled off. And number 98, Butch Miller, the ASA champion, is the story of the moment. Look out, he tangles with Resendez there as the lap car gets in front of him and gives Hornaday another little break. Can Butch go back to the bottom and get around Resendez?
I think so. He's actually up there on the top now, maybe cooling those tires off. You know, it's definitely an easier way around the racetrack at the top. He's making it work down at the bottom.
That's magic.
Left side tires below the white line.
Well, we said early in the show that the line would probably move up the racetrack. Butch Miller says, you guys got it all backwards. You're upside down and all wrong.
He has the truck below the white line. Butch really, he's got a great line there, and looks like it's working for him.
What do you reckon Hornaday's thinking? I mean, what do you do?
Well, as many laps as Ron Hornaday and Rick Corelli have at this racetrack, they can't run at the bottom. They'll be talking Butch.
Look at that.
Great shot.
With 15 to go, Butch Miller got in front for a moment. Hornaday is not going to give it up easily. He's worked too hard for this. This is terrific.
Oh, this is great racing right here.
A pair of 3,400-pound trucks having at it side by side. 98 Butch Miller running the Ford right alongside the race-long leader Hornaday in the Chevy. And guess what?
Butch is back.
His camera, you could get a glimpse of PJ coming after him.
Yep, he's on the move. Butch may have just backed off a little bit there. He's going to have one more chance to make a run at him. PJ's on the move also. It's going to be a great race here at the end.
There is Jones with 12 to go and traffic ahead. It cannot finish under yellow. It's another great rule for the Super Truck division. So Hornaday in 16 leads it. And Miller, suddenly stuck with the traffic, finds his low line taken away by McEachern, loses a little ground. He will likely come under immediate fire from P.J. Jones, who looked like he was going to be the hero of the race. Talk about drama, talk about excitement with 10 to go. We always make those promises at the top of the show and hope the race will pay off. Today, I think it's going to.
Oh, this is great. I'm getting excited just talking about it.
It's got the hair on the back of my neck up. Churchill on the bottom of the racetrack has taken up Butch's line, maybe. This is a huge break for Hornaday.
Oh, it really is.
Traffic
He caught lap traffic just perfect. Made some good moves. Put a little distance between him and Butch.
I'll tell you, though, during that last commercial break, Butch made up way more than this amount of traffic in about, or this amount of ground, I should say, in about 4 laps. So he's still got time.
Oh, he's got one more run at him. PJ's caught Butch, though, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem. He's going to have to look in his mirror a little bit, not to lose second.
Is this one of those times when the crew call you on the radio and say, if you got anything left, now's the time to use it?
Yeah, like he's not running as hard as he can possibly run for everything.
Here comes PJ, shot through the gap in traffic. Jones goes to second. Butch Miller has slipped back to third. He led the race. Maybe not at start-finish, but he had a fender in front of Hornaday. Now he's back down on the bottom trying to get back what he had. PJ has 6.
I think the tires on the 98 truck, I believe they're gone. I believe Butch is he's sideways off it too.
Yeah. Well, look,
great effort. Just used him up a little bit too much.
He did not lose a position there to Resendez. Resendez is a lap down. PJ I don't know. It's going to be tough. He's got 5 laps to catch Hornaday. I think Hornaday may have played this thing very, very smart.
He's done a great job. Really has.
The laps winded down. Miller's in big trouble. He's got a flat tire.
Left rear tire of Butch Miller's truck.
He spit it off. And the yellow will fly.
Oh, this is a break for PJ.
Oh, boy. There's the tire. He literally ran the tires off that truck getting to the front. But the race will not end under caution. So, PJ, who must be thanking the god of yellow flags today, will get
the racing gods have looked down on him.
Look out. We'll be right back with a finish. We're back. Alan Porter prepares to drop the green flag for the final time. It will be a 2-lap shootout between number 16, the Chevrolet of Ron Hornaday, owned by Teresa Earnhardt, and P.J. Jones Chevy, number 1, who's come from 3 laps down to have this one last shot. The rule says you can't finish.
Great start for Ron Hornaday. He's gone.
He really got the jump. This is lap 201. It's a scheduled 200 lapper, but it can't finish under yellow. Hornaday really got a great start. PJ did not.
May have been sleeping just a little bit.
Boy, that's a bad time to fall asleep. White flag, 1 to go. Hornaday's got it when it matters.
Sedgwick is underneath Corelli. They touch.
Spun it. Sedgwick trying to pick up a position. White flag out. Will they throw the checker? Yes.
For Ron
checkered
Hornaday.
flag falls on Ron Hornaday. The checkered flag fell. The spin came on the last lap. Hornaday did it when it mattered. Congratulations to the Earnhardt family watching back in North Wilkes. And did we get our money's worth today from the NASCAR Craftsman SuperTrucks? Unbelievable stories all the way back through the field. Here comes PJ up to congratulate Hornaday. Thumbs up for both.
Oh, that was a great restart there for Ron Hornaday. Knew what he had to do. Got those belts good and tight, got those tires clean. Probably had that thing in 2nd gear, and he just got a great restart there.
We may have time to hear from PJ. We're going to go to Victory Lane, of course, hear from Hornaday. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about that last opportunity. We'll be right back. The Super Trucks on ESPN have been brought to you by Pirelli. Power is nothing without control. Well, they were about half out of control half the day, but when day is done, Hornaday's the winner, and he's standing by with Marty Reed. Marty?
Ron, come on, come on out of here. There's a bunch of people that want to say congratulations on Ron Hornaday's first Super Truck victory. Listen to this crowd. I got to tell you, you must have had heart failure when that last yellow came out, when Butch Miller cut that tire.
I tell you, Doug worked on this truck all day long. I mean, we had a loose truck, and he just kept driving me and says, Ron, just keep it smooth, keep it smooth. I just got to thank Doug, Action Pack, everybody. You know, Dale, we did this one, but that last show, I wasn't looking forward for it. I knew what I had to do because PJ is getting his laps back by sliding up in front of me, so I just went out there and ran as hard as we could and just went to the bottom and helped him do it.
Well, we just got the Gatorade bath, and hey, I need to ask you on the restart, because we were watching, obviously everybody was watching, and looked like you really, really came off a 4 flying.
Well, PJ was moving me up high on the lap deals there, so I just went ahead and let him stay back, and when he started warming his tires up, I just took off. I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but I wasn't going to let him do the slide job again on me, so we did this one. We beat the truck up a little bit, but it's perfect for Saugus. We're ready for it, so I'm just thankful for the crew, the Goodyear Tire Center, Snap-on, you know, Action Pack, everybody, RCCA, just everybody. I just want to thank everybody. Dennis Fisher for the motor he just put underneath us all day. But, you know, this one's for Teresa.
There you go. I was going to say, you almost forgot the boss.
I didn't forget the boss. You know, Teresa's behind us at 100%, and we knew we ran good here, and we just had to come out here and do it all.
Ron Hornaday is your winner here at Tucson Raceway Park. We'll be back with more right after this.
I think this is the prettiest time of day in the Mojave Desert. The quiet, at the end of the long, hot day. Marty Reed with the man whose thoughts are perhaps of most interest right now, the guy who came second today. Marty?
I know your heart must have just sunk when you went 3 laps down with the valve stem breaking, but man, you really put on a show coming back.
Well, I mean, the guys gave me a great car. We made a couple little adjustments, but the red light and the temperature gauge was pegged the whole race. And last about 10 or 15 laps, I was getting burned by some steam and stuff coming in the cockpit. But Die-Hard crew did great. Sears Die-Hard, #1 truck, my car owners. Craftsman put a great series together. NASCAR promotes it awesome. There's so many people interested in this series. It grew so quickly. And Paige Jones, you know, this one was for you. I know he's watching right now. And get better, buddy. We want you out here. This is his ride. So.
Now, you know, you were doing so well when you were catching the laps back, but the last restart looked like he got you.
Well, yeah, we just kind of made a little bit of a mistake with transmissions. We didn't quite get the right gear ratio. He likes to come down real slow, and I had just too high a second gear and way too high a third gear, and I just couldn't get a good running start. And I tried at the last restart, and he just messed me up. So he did a great job. He was fighting me, trying to get my laps back, and I had to, do him a little dirty a couple of times just to put him up there in the gray to get by him. But he's a great racer. He charges hard. He needed a win. So.
Well, I know you guys are disappointed, but you put a wonderful show on for everybody. We enjoyed it.
Well, we appreciate it. Without Sears and the series and ESPN for televising it, thanks a lot.
David?
I'll tell you what, that was an inspired and an inspiring ride. It was just a terrific run for Jones and a great day for the Jones family. And Paige, we sure hope you enjoyed it, buddy. We're, I hope, going to have time to hear from the third-place guy because he was sort of the forgotten man all day, but when said is done, the High Plains Drifter ends up third. Let's go back to hear from Ron Corelli.
Rick Corelli, they were saying, you sort of got not just short shrift, but you weren't in the picture a lot, but boy, you were steady all day long, and there you were right at the end. A nice job on third place.
Yeah, I feel good. After our disappointment in Phoenix, we come down here and ran hard. We were running really good. I had a bad qualifying run, but the truck, we were just off a little bit. I was a little tight. Good at the start of the race, and then there was a truck spun out on the back straightaway, and I bumped the front end and knocked it out. And I knew I didn't have anything for him up front, but I want to thank ESPN and NASCAR, and I tell you what, this is going to be a heck of a series. And Total Motor Oil, #6, we'll be back. We're looking forward to going to Saugus, and I want to say hi to my wife and kids and wish them the best.
Yeah, Rick, you're not going to like it, though, because now you owe $1 to the pot because you said car instead of truck. We made that rule today, so, hey, appreciate the great run. We'll be back to close things out here at Tucson Raceway Park. Stay with us.
Well said, guys. All right, if Corelli's got to pay $1 for calling it a car, I got to pay 10 for calling his long-lost brother, Ron. Elton John up here beside me. Elton Sawyer up here beside me. Your final thoughts on what we've seen here today?
Oh, it was a great race, Dave. I really enjoyed it. The guys really did a good job on the racetrack. I was excited. I really don't know what to say. I just ecstatic sitting up here.
Is it more fun to be in a race car?
It's a lot more work up here.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, and I hope the rest of the world appreciates it. What a pretty sunset. The sun sets slowly in the west as we go to Marty Reed for a final observation from Victory Lane.
Guys, we talk about so many times where cars are not on the lead lap. This was such a small track, and to have this race after 200 laps come down to the final 2 laps, it's got to be incredible. And talk about the fact that this thing is hot. This is a magazine from Japan. Take a look at the little right-hand corner. We love pickup. We certainly did today.
Hey, they've got their own collectibles. They've got their own magazines in English and in Japanese. This series has a huge future, but at the end of the day, Hornaday demonstrated that it's the great NASCAR talent that's ready for the challenge of all these other drivers. PJ drove an inspired race for his little brother, Butch Miller, and so many more thinking about what is yet to come. Thunder is coming up here midnight tonight. Dave and Gary and Larry, Dave the King Wilson and Gary and Larry at midnight tonight with the USAC Western States Midgets, so stick around for that. And then, of course, tomorrow we've got the First Union 400, the race at 1, but we've got the special half-hour pregame show coming up at 12:30 Eastern Time. That's 9:30 a.m. out here on the coast. Hope you'll enjoy that. GP racing, we got that. Formula One on ESPN. 2, the Grand Prix of Argentina, and that is 9 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow night. Speed Week, Friday night, 12:30 a.m. Is there anything we possibly missed? It is a great racing weekend for all of you fans, and we certainly hope you've enjoyed what we've seen so far. Next up will be the late model stockers from North Wilkesboro, so stick around for that as well. Our congratulations to Ron Hornaday. Our thanks to Elton Sawyer and Marty Reed. A terrific afternoon of Craftsman NASCAR truck racing. And there is your winner. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time on ESPN. I'm Dave Despade. So long from Tucson.